Please welcome to the stage Chairman of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce, Robert Martinez.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very pleased to welcome you here tonight to the 2011 State of the City Address, the very first event at this wonderful, brand new, state-of-the-art convention center. I'm Robert Martinez, Chairman of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And before we begin the program, I want to just recognize the hard work that has resulted in this world-class convention center. This beautiful facility is the culmination of years and years of efforts led by Mayor Gast, the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau staff and its board of directors, the City of Irving leadership, your chamber, and many others. As our city and our thriving business community have grown, Irving has had the visionary leadership to bring this venue to fruition, to better serve the businesses, visitors, and residents. To the City of Irving and the Irving CVB, please join me in congratulating them on a job very well done. At this time, I invite everyone to please stand as you are able for a presentation of bagpipes and drums from the Irving Fire Department, the posting of colors by the Irving Police Department, our invocation led by Pastor Ben Daly, lead pastor of Calvary Church, and then let us honor our nation with the singing of our national anthem as led by the Calvary Church worship team.
Will you join with me in prayer? Father, thank you for this wonderful opportunity and privilege that we have this evening to gather together with those whom you've placed in authority in this wonderful city, Irving. What an amazing city you've blessed us to live in and to serve in. It's a gift. And we thank you that your word declares that every good and every perfect gift comes from you. And tonight we take a few moments to look back over this past year with gratitude, to see the many ways that you have blessed us and blessed this city. But we also look forward with anticipation. We look forward with expectation and with excitement at what you have on the horizon. Lord, I pray for all of our city leaders. I pray for our mayor. I pray for the members of our city council. I pray for our school board and for our public servants. I I ask that they would conduct the affairs of our city with great wisdom and discernment that only comes from you. I pray that they would truly represent the needs of the wonderful people in this city. We thank you, Lord. We thank you for this evening, and we look to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Join me in welcoming Chris Wallace to the podium.
Please be seated. Good evening and welcome, and we certainly begin by echoing our chairman's praise for this wonderful new convention center. It is truly a remarkable venue and a major asset for our business community right here in the great city of Irving, Texas. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your great leadership. Also, we are very happy to have your wife, Jill Martinez, who is a wonderful civic leader and does so much for our chamber. Jill, welcome. It's good to have you here this evening as well. I'd like to mention that I have received confirmation of a record, a new attendance record at any State of the City in 30 years, over 1,000 people tonight. So welcome in this great new convention center. In this large crowd with us tonight, we have many elected and appointed officials that I would like to now acknowledge. Of course, we're going to hear from tonight our keynote speaker, Mayor Herbert Gears, and his lovely wife, Christina. Our First Lady is a very successful businesswoman, a wonderful civic leader. She has also recently graciously agreed to chair the Chamber's upcoming engagement membership campaign, lending her time and expertise to helping bring new members into our great Chamber. Madam First Lady, thank you for all you do for our wonderful city. Please accept these flowers as a small token of our appreciation tonight. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Also, for the past 30 years, including this year, mayors from our great city of Irving have been supporting our chamber by being our keynote speakers at the Chamber's annual State of the City event. Mayor Gears, we thank you for your support this year. And as a small token of our appreciation for you, we would like to present to you, all the way from Irving's sister city in Leon, Mexico, from Gaborka Boot Factory, custom-made Irving, Texas boots. Special thank you to Al Saponte, General thank you, and Joe Chapa from the U.S.-Mexico Chamber for making that possible from our sister city in Leon. At this time, I'd like to recognize many elected and appointed officials. If you please hold your applause until the end, until all have read. If you please stand as I call your name. From our Congressman's office, Pete Sessions, we have District Director Matt Garcia. Matt, welcome. Irving State Representatives, Representative Linda Harper Brown and her husband Bill, our Chamber Treasurer. Representative Rodney Anderson. Representative, welcome. It's good to have you here. From Dallas County, our new commissioner, Commissioner Elba Garcia. From Dallas County Community College District Board, Trustee Kitty Boyle. Welcome. And of course, our State of the City tonight, welcome to our wonderful Irving City Council, Mayor Pro Tem Rose Kennedy and her husband Lowell. Rose is our Chamber Board Liaison and does a wonderful job on our behalf. Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Rick Stouffer and his wife Melanie. Councilman Joe Phillip and his wife Elizabeth. Councilman Louis Patrick and his wife Nita. Councilman Michael Galloway and his wife Deborah. Councilman Rory Sanderskoy, his wife Cindy. Councilman Alan Meager and his wife Kelly. Councilman Gerald Ferris and his wife Karen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's good to have you here tonight. Also join us from our neighbor in Coppell, Doug Stover. Mayor, welcome. It's good to have you here from Coppell. Irving ISD School Board Trustees. We have Valerie Jones, President. Gwen Craig, Trustee. Trustee Rhonda Hufstedler. Nancy Jones, Trustee A.D. Jenkins, and Heather Ashley as well. We also have Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dana T. Bedden. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to have you here as well. From the Carrollton Farmers Branch School Board, we have Nancy Klein. We have Frank Shore, Trustee, and Trustee James Good. Welcome. It's good to have you, as well as Dr. Bobby Burns, Superintendent of Schools. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to be recognized. From the City of Irving Management, we have City Manager Tommy Gonzalez. Tommy, welcome. Mr. Manager, it's good to have you and his wife, Sandy. We also are happy to have with us tonight City Secretary Sinead Jennings. Madam Secretary, you have certainly brought in our prayers. And welcome. It's good to very much have you here tonight. From the Irving Convention Visitors Bureau, James Castles. Mr. Chairman, welcome. And Maura Gast, our Executive Director, thank you for hosting us tonight from the Irving CVB. Our great partners at the Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Chairwoman Nancy Navarro, and their President, Azucena Resendez. Welcome. It's good to have you here. At this time, I'd like for all of our Chamber Board of Directors to stand up. I have 59 board members who do a superb job representing the voice of the Irving business community, as well as the many past chairmen of our Chamber over 78 years. Please stand and also be recognized this evening. This event and many others that your Chamber hosts throughout the year serve as fundraisers for your Chamber of Commerce. These fundraisers fund programs for small business, to make sure and to ensure that pro-business legislative agendas by our government entities are fulfilled, to help supplement costs for business recruitment and retention initiatives, as well as support the many workforce development programs. And we have these sponsors to thank for these many opportunities that they give us for fundraising this evening, tonight at the 30th Anniversary State of the City Address. Special thanks are first in order for our presenting sponsor, ladies and gentlemen from JEXA Energy. Welcome. It's good to have you here. They are literally powering this event tonight at this new center. Also, our great partners at the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas. Would all of you please stand? The ICVB board, please stand and be recognized as our host tonight. Please. Chairman Castles, members of the CVB board, Maura Gast and her entire wonderful team, we appreciate the special treat. They actually upgraded our dinner menu tonight. And so to all the businesses in the room, this is what you can expect, the wonderful quality at this convention center. So book your event right here at this convention center. Also, the following organizations have made significant sponsorship contributions to tonight's event. Our platinum sponsors include FlowServe Corporation, Aviol Corporation. Our gold sponsors include Ace Cash Express, First Southwest Company, Research in Motion, Freeman, Irving ISD, and Rick's Independent Car Care. I would especially like to recognize Rick's Independent Car Care, one of our Chamber's Blue Ribbon Award-winning small businesses, for providing the valet services for this evening's event. As well as Freeman, amazing company. We have a great partnership with them. They have worked very closely with Beth Bowman, our Chief Development Officer at the Chamber, to ensure that our AV elements are in order for this opening night tonight at the Convention Center. I would also like to call attention to a few others who helped in the Chamber today and the many weeks ahead of this for this exceptional opening night. Our great partners at the Dallas Business Journal. Many are here tonight. They are our media sponsor. The DBJ publishes our fantastic supplement. You actually have an Irving supplement at each of your places. This helps our economic development, recruitment, and retention efforts. And of course, to the Calvary Church Choir that you heard, as well as Pastor Daly. And the outstanding productions, as you've seen tonight, worked very hard. Our new events producer, if you have not met her, Mrs. Laura Jordan, she's awesome to have, absolutely. She's responsible for all the special touches you see, from the quartet, from the Irving Symphony Orchestra, to the wonderful decorating that you see by Freeman. The Chocolate Rose for the wonderful arrangements on each table. And we cannot leave the night without thanking Kitty Baker and the Irving Senior Arts Program. They donated many hours in helping stuff the great 1,000 bags, and that is no small task. So, again, many thank you to our sponsors and the ones listed in your program tonight. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge both the Irving Independent School District and the Carrollton Farmers Branch School District. These two districts, which serve our community well, are both great partners of our chamber, and their talented students are helping make this event extra special for you this evening. Cheerleaders, drumline, and drill team from Irving ISD did an excellent job of delivering an enthusiastic greeting as we entered this great new venue tonight. And now I'd like to welcome from Carrollton Farmers Branch, the Ranch View High School Select Women's Ensemble. Irving is so proud to be a rich, diverse, international city, and they're going to share with you a special song tonight. Ladies, please welcome.
Babana.
Thank you, ladies. We certainly feel the energy in the room and our wonderful momentum. Please, Mr. Chairman, welcome you back to the podium to highlight our current successes at our Chamber of Commerce and our business community. Mr. Chairman, welcome.
Thank you, Chris. It is an exciting time for our chamber and for our city. Of course, we continue to be very proud of being the very first 5-star rated Chamber of Commerce in the state of Texas. That's a very prestigious honor, which validates the Chamber's mission of supporting the thriving and vibrant business community in Irving. Through a number of new and expanded initiatives, the Chamber continues to successfully help create, advance, and promote the economic growth of Irving and North Texas as we continue into 2011. In the coming year, the Chamber will continue to further enhance the benefits of membership, be actively engaged in the state's legislative session, and work to develop new economic growth through strategic goals such as helping to improve Irving's image and helping to market and further enhance our local education institutions. The Chamber is also pleased to be ramping up a new economic development initiative in 2011, where we will be driving growth of the film, entertainment, and video game industries in Irving. These are important industries we have the infrastructure to support through such assets as the studios at Las Colinas, and we will benefit greatly from its continued and expanded success. Now, thanks in part to the efforts of the Chamber, 4 businesses were recognized as Blue Ribbon winners of the Small Business of America U.S. Chamber of Commerce Awards, more than any other city in the United States. And that, yes. And that's an achievement that has been realized for the 3rd consecutive year, bringing the total of 11 national award winners to Irving. It is really remarkable to have small businesses thriving alongside global Fortune 500 companies, such as ExxonMobil, Fluor Commercial Metals, Kimberly-Clark, and Flowserve. That is precisely what is happening here in Irving. With a unique and strategic location, a diverse industry base, thousands of top-quality businesses, and the leadership of this Chamber of Commerce and our city partners, it is no wonder that Irving continues to be regarded as a world-class pro-business community. This past year was highlighted by several high-profile relocations and expansions, including Consolidated Electrical Distributors, Jiffy Lube, Clorox, GKN Aerospace, Liberty Mutual, TWG Insurance, Shared Technology, and Strayer University. More than 24 new economic development projects yielded more than 5,854 new and retained jobs and over $135 million in taxable capital investment in Irving. And that is due in great part to the wonderful relationship we have with the city leadership. The Chamber-managed Irving Economic Development Partnership also delivered on the strategic goal of bringing more retail to the city. Retail wins in 2010 included the new Aspen Creek Restaurant, Five Guys Burgers, and 2 Aldi grocery stores. The largest McDonald's built in 20 years now calls the Irving Heritage District its home, an effort which is sparking redevelopment in that area of the city. And some of those wins down in that city include JPT Graphics, which completely renovated a building on Irving Boulevard, giving new life to their corporate headquarters. And the good news for retail in Irving continues into 2011 as Irving headquartered Michael's Stores will open a signature hometown retail location in the MacArthur Park Shopping Center, 635 in MacArthur. And beyond just bringing new retail to our city, the Chamber is focused on supporting existing retailers. One such program that the Chamber implemented in 2010 was called In Irving, a program designed to drive traffic, awareness, and revenue for our businesses. If you're not shopping in Irving, I encourage you to do so. In particular, you would be wise to shop on Saturdays and take advantage of the deals that will be offered in that program. I'm also pleased to announce that Phase 2 of this program, the Best in Irving program. This is your chance to weigh in on everything from the best burger in town to the best place to get an oil change. Winners, of course, will be provided great exposure as we promote the fantastic retail climate that exists in our great city. Voting is now open, and you'll find a ballot in your parting gift bag, so be sure to look for that and vote for your favorite businesses in Irving. I also want to give special thanks to Jexa Energy for providing their sponsorship tonight. And I want to welcome to the podium Victor Howard, Senior Director of Marketing and Customer Care for Jexa Energy.
Good evening. I'm Victor Howard, Senior Director of Marketing and Customer Care for Jexa Energy. Our company is based right here in Texas, and we provide electricity service to residential and commercial customers throughout the state. Jexa Energy's mission since our beginning in 2002 has been to provide Texans with a fast and easy way to manage their electricity, both at home and in the workplace. It is a tremendous honor to precede Mayor Herbert Gears in this beautiful new facility, one that certainly required foresight, vision, and yes, energy. A project of this scope certainly required plenty of it. Energy to dream it, energy to design it, energy to build it, and of course, energy to operate it. Jexa Energy is proud to serve as the retail electric provider for the Irving Convention Center and proud to work with the first 5-star accredited Chamber of Commerce in Texas. Congratulations. Mayor Gears, on behalf of the business community of Irving, we congratulate you, the Irving City Council, and the many, many dedicated professionals who made this dynamic new convention center a reality. Besides our strong relationship with the Irving Convention Center and the Chamber, Jexa Energy serves the energy needs of the city of Irving and the Irving Independent School District, and for tens of thousands of businesses and residential customers in the North Texas area. Jexa Energy believes in supporting the communities we serve while we offer affordable electricity to residential and consumer customers throughout the state. We're especially proud to be a part of the city of Irving. From all of us at Jexa Energy, thank you. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of such a dynamic community. Thank you.
I couldn't ask for anything better.
It's sad, you kind of welled up, when the fireworks started going, the music.
We are continuing to meet with prospects that have a plethora of ideas in terms of what to do with that site.
I'm already ready. I'm going to the island lot.
Why aren't you racing, Mayor?
Well, they say the heaviest guy always wins, so I didn't really want to dominate the contest,
We're real proud about how it's all turned out.
These are buildings that are vacant, and when you do see them come down, to me it marks progress.
So far, we're off to a great start.
The Super Bowl is a huge opportunity for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Herbert Gears.
Yes! So crazy right now.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody. Congratulate yourselves and your community and all those who worked on this facility. This is a 12-year dream, a vision. A lot of people have worked to bring us to this day. We're going to talk a little bit more about this building later on and what role it plays in our hospitality industry and our future and other great opportunities we have in our future. And I want you to know there's a lot of gambling going on tonight in the room. They set the over and under this year at 78 minutes for my part. So you don't know which side I bet on, so we'll just say we're going to manage the situation as best as possible. It's really a great occasion. You know, this is the first time that this many people have gathered, you know, to sit down and break bread together in the same place, much less just for a State of the City speech, just to be together, you know, which is a great thing. And remember, this is the smaller room. You know, we've got a bigger room in this place that could hold 2.5 times this many people, you know, to sit down to dinner. So we've really got a lot to be proud of here. And I know that you know that, having been here and been able to look around and see, and it's just very special. And to get ready for tonight, you know, I'll have you know that I wanted to have it be really good, and I worried last year was too long, and so I'm trying to be selective of what we talk about. And I went back and studied this is the 6th time that we've done this, and so I watched all those, believe it or not, those DVDs of the speeches, and there's a whole lot of interesting things that occurred, you know, particularly with regards to the different things that we talked about, and then as the years went on. And you know, it was very shocking, of course, to me to first learn, you know, 6 years ago how thinner I was, you know, and how younger I was as well. And so the job is definitely aging me. And what I noticed, which I'm sure you're all aware of, is as my waistline grew, my lungs also grew. So the time went on further because we had a lot more to talk about. But, you know, in all of those occasions, and we talked about some consistent topics, and we'd like to start, you know, in a very good place, you know, about a message. You know, we have a message that we like to communicate, you know, and we sort of copied this message. You know, we brought it out of the Bible. And so, you know, you can throw it up, you know, in John 1:1. And, you know, first, before I start in John 1:1, I want to recognize a special group of people. There's a large group of people from the Senior Arts program here tonight. Could you all stand up and be recognized? This is a very, very special group of people. Where are you guys? I can't see you. I think there's about 40 or 50 of them. And I know we appropriately welcomed everybody, you know, tonight. And, we've got them all over the room. That's great. But I did want to just say a special hello. But we like to start with this message, first of all, because it's very appropriate, because it starts with "in the beginning." And that makes it easy for me to know where to start, right in the beginning. And as well, you know, this is a message from John. He wrote this book, you know, in the Bible. And this is John 1:1, you know, which to me says that this is the first thing that he wanted me to know. This is the most important message right out of the gate, you know, when you're putting together something like this, you know, way back then. And we've talked about it over the years, you know, about what this means, and the fact that the Word is what was there in the beginning. And it wasn't God that it was in the beginning, that it was important to make that distinction, you know, that the Word is very, very powerful. And of course, the Word was with God and the Word was God. And then, as we know, a lot of the rest of the story, with God's words, he just sort of spoke everything out into existence. You know, the universe, you know, he said, let there be this and let there be that and all these things. And given the fact that we're created in God's image, this is the lesson that we need to know about our lives, is that our words are powerful. Our words are creators of what it is going to be in our life. We create our universe with what we say about our lives, about what we think about our future, whether we choose to talk about hope and optimism and things like that, or whether we choose to be critical and be negative and things like that. The words we choose will say a lot about what our universe is going to be like, and there's been a lot of evidence of that as we've gone back and looked at these past State of the City speeches. We say a lot of things. You know, we focused on, in particular, what is really the most important provision of service that the city is there for, and that's for public safety. And so in our last speeches, we've talked a lot about public safety and the progress that we've made in public safety. And, we declared, in 2006 that we were going to reverse these rising crime rate trends, and we were going to lower crime, and we were going to make a difference in crime. We even got specific and talked about hiring more officers and different things like that. And what happened in reality is we went even further because of that motivation, because of that declaration. The city council created all kinds of new ordinances. We created partnerships that gave us the progress we need, and that's a theme for tonight's event, is Partners in Progress. And so we partnered with code enforcement and different departments in the city to make a difference. And so each year we began to see reductions in crime. And in 2007, we were able to drop down to the lowest crime rate in the history of Irving. And in 2008, we dropped down even further to another low. In 2009, we dropped down to another low. And now in 2010, we dropped another 8.4% for historic lows in the history of our city. And you can see back from that last picture, it was that shiny new police car that got that last year, got us over the hump. We weren't sure how we were going to do that. But that's an award-winning design, by the way, for that police car. But that's a significant accomplishment, and I want to just show you a very, very brief video about some of the news coverage that our city received. You'll be proud to see this video. Kristen?
Police say crime is down for the 7th year in a row. The department reports the crime rate dropped more than 8% this year. Robberies saw the greatest drop. They're down 22%. Irving police credit strong neighborhoods, proactive policing, and also code enforcement.
If you live in Irving, you might breathe a little easier. According to police, crime in that city is at an all-time low. The crime rate in 2010 was down nearly 8.5%. Robbery and auto theft dropped 22%. Burglary and car break-ins down as well. Police there say nearly half of those crimes occur in or near apartment complexes. And they credit this big drop to an aggressive crackdown that they say is working. Here's Jay Gormley.
We first met Tabitha Hester in April of 2010. Back then, her management company was trying to reduce crime at the Woodchase apartment complex in Irving.
That's kind of you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So whenever we have an issue, we have this relationship with the Irving Police Department, and we get full cooperation.
The management at Woodchase was given an option, either lower their crime rate or face being shut down. So they enrolled in a mandatory crime reduction program with Irving Police. Apparently it worked. Crime went down and Woodchase was released from the program over the summer. A city ordinance forces apartment complexes with high crime rates to enroll in the program at a cost of $250.
Our focus on multifamily communities over the last few years has really paid dividends for us.
Landlords are required to add security lights, repair faulty fences, and trim down trees and bushes for better visibility. Landlords must also conduct criminal background checks on tenants.
When you think about it, it makes logical sense. There are a high volume of cars in a small area. There's a lot of people living in a small area, and people can be anonymous in apartment communities.
Okay. He looks like he has more to say, doesn't it? Remember, we're gonna shorten the evening, Chief, right? But actually what I was getting ready to remind everybody was another thing we talked about back in 06 is we identified how we were going to treat each other. We talked about with regards to the leadership team and how we recognize, the intrinsic value of all people. We've got a very diverse city. And so it was important, that for all that we do, that we come from a context of love for each other. It sounds corny, okay? But that's where we wanted to start. We wanted to understand the intrinsic value of all people so that we could serve all people. That's what we have to do. That's the role that we're in. And that begins with each other, having a love for each other and a love for everybody in the community. And I'll tell you that sort of love wave swept over Irving and created the next result, which is the most important in the crime stats, and that is violent crime over that period of time dropped 40%. 40%. Okay, we would have been happy with 4%. 40%. That's a significant shift in the consciousness of our community, quite frankly. We're creating an environment where we don't have those kinds of things as much as we used to. And that's going to continue. I don't know how they're going to keep it going because eventually there'll just be no crime. But that's fine with me. But we'll get there. But public service, of course, is not only the police department. Who scores the highest on our surveys when we talk to our citizens with regards to serving them is the fire guys. When you have a tragedy, a car crash, generally the emergency medical team is responding, the fire guys are responding, and so they're out in the community a lot, and they've accomplished a lot as well. You know, we continue to be recognized nationally. We're part of different studies and excellence in the provision of our service, and we still have twice the national average for cardiac survival rate. So if you're going to have a heart attack, you know, you need to get over here to Irving, Texas, because you're going to make it. You're going to make it, okay, because of our firefighters. So, and we just continue to see, you know, superior performance, you know, from superior individuals. You know, you meet our fire guys and the captains and all the people in the management, and the fire chief, Molina, you know, he's proud of the people that work in the department, and we all should be. And, you know, those types of city services are very important as well. You know, we provide amenities in the community, and we've had some significant openings, you know, this year that I want to try to get through and let you know about. You know, we've changed in the way we approach, for example, the public swimming pool. It's not your granddaddy's public swimming pool anymore. As you can see from these pictures of our new aquatic center, you know, we've taken all the finest features all the way to serve the customer, you know, as best we can. And you saw some of that in the opening video. We had 95,000 people visit this pool during the summer. That's about 10 times the amount that we would have previously with the facilities that we had. So, you know, when communities provide public amenities like this, we have the ability to look what's being done in other cities. We've had a lot of time passed since that old pool was built. So now we know what the customer's asking for. We know about everything that's needed for disabilities and things like that to make it a pleasurable experience for a very diverse community. And it shows up, you know, in the aquatic center that we created out on Conflans and Beltline, and we've got 2 or 3 more of those coming as well. Most of you probably know about this, is we opened the finest animal shelter in the country. We spent $8.5 million. We went from worst to first. Kinky Friedman came out and said it's the coolest animal opening he's ever seen. He had that big cigar cutting that ribbon. So, you know, we've had great results out at the new shelter. We've created a new program, a partnership again for progress with the DFW Humane Society. I've got a video I want to show you about first the animal shelter and then tell you about the second piece of what we created out there. We've vaccinated over 8,000 animals. 100% of the animals that are adopted at our facility are spay and neutered. And of course, we have a full-time vet. You're going to hear about some of these things. Kristen, let's see the video on the animal.
I don't understand how somebody can not want these 2 babies.
These are some of the newest arrivals at Irving's Animal Care Campus.
The man that brought them in actually saw somebody pull over the side of the road, dump them out, and then drive away in their truck.
These cages are their first stop, and by the time they get here, most of the dogs and cats have already endured a lot.
Actually rode in the motor or lower part of a truck.
All over the campus, there are stories. From the Get Acquainted rooms,
We do know that she was in Iowa.
to the adoption mall.
These 2 babies came in because their owner is pregnant.
6 months after the Animal Care Campus opened to huge crowds, we wanted to find out if Irving Animal Services and the DFW Humane Society have built on that momentum to help more of these potential pets find homes.
It's been a busy 6 months.
Well, we couldn't have asked for anything better.
The partnership between the city department and the nonprofit is like no other in the country.
The teamwork is just amazing to me. If we need help, they're there, and if they need help, we're there to help them.
Less than a year ago, the DFW Humane Society was working out of a crowded building that was falling apart around them. Now, with more space and a more appealing facility, the no-kill shelter is seeing remarkable results.
Our adoptions have gone up 75%. We love that.
The number of animals adopted and rescued is also going up on the city's side of the building, and not only through traditional adoptions.
We're getting more nationally recognized, so we're transferring animals all over the country.
Irving has posted pet pictures online for a while, but the buzz about the new shelter is drawing more traffic to its websites. About 200 breed-specific rescue groups scan Irving's pictures regularly and move quickly to get the animals.
Even this weekend, we sent 4 to New York.
Today, I'm here trying to rescue a Shih Tzu. There he is. Hi, kid.
Don Warshak operates a rescue group and is hoping to take a dog with him today.
Some residents say they are fed up with...
Back in 2006, Warshak was among this group of residents and activists whose criticisms of Irving Animal Services came to a climax at this city council meeting. Now, he sees how much things have changed.
I think this is the preeminent shelter in the country. I have a lot of people calling from all over the United States saying, we've seen just snippets on TV or someplace. How did y'all do that?
The Animal Care Campus also has improved veterinary facilities, including a digital x-ray machine that allows the veterinarian to better treat injured animals.
Now here, if a dog is limping, we can just go ahead and take an x-ray and then pinpoint where the injury is at if there is one.
Mosby is 10 years old and unfortunately finds himself in a shelter at that age.
Sadly, not all of the news here is encouraging.
People are giving up animals at record numbers.
The economy is certainly one factor, but there is another one that is surprising.
Unfortunately, I think we have seen an increase in owner releases because they feel more comfortable bringing them into a shelter like this instead of a more depressing area.
That's probably our biggest challenge. The owner releases really surprise us.
Come here, Pumpkin.
With more animals to care for, the campus is thankful for new volunteers attracted to the modern facility.
I've always wanted to volunteer at the shelter, and then I heard all the hoopla about the grand opening out here, and so that was a prime time to do it.
She helps socialize the cats, getting them ready for new homes.
Yeah, it makes me feel good, but it also breaks my heart when there are more coming in the back door than we can get out the front door.
The stories are sad. From the cat found in a motor,
He still has some oil around his face,
to these dogs left because of busy schedules.
Yeah, the family actually said that they didn't have enough time to care for them.
This is where they are getting help and a chance at a better life.
We're just very excited to be here every day.
Right, very nice. Definitely something we're setting the bar, in this regard, and it's really something that our community should be proud of. And by the way, they put a little note on here for me to also mention that Animal Services has so far trapped over 200 feral hogs in South Irving. And the last one weighed 351 pounds, which is bigger than me. I'm staying away from those traps, for sure. But, sorry, I failed to mention, I hope y'all like the suit. I'm copper, okay? We're in a copper building, so I'm shiny, and then I get darker, but what you need to be concerned about is they tell me next year I'm going to be lime green, and I do have a suit all ready for that next party, just so you know. And I know all those who know me believe that. Okay, amazingly, we continued on, with attending to what the community wanted. And I want to show you this next video, a very special project, something that the community has wanted for a long, long, long time. We never were able to get it done, and then pretty soon it just really happened really fast. So let's take a look at a brief video on the new dog park. Very popular new opening in our community. Kristen?
I told him this morning, I was like, let's go, we gotta go to the dog park.
The dogs may not understand what's in store for them.
He's going to the dog park today. He doesn't know what that is, but he thinks it's a good thing.
But their owners sure do.
Surprise for them.
As Irving opens its first dog park.
All right.
The ribbon is cut, the dogs move in, the leashes are off, and the playtime begins.
This place is great. We've been waiting a long time for Irving to have a dog park.
Some dogs seem eager to make new friends. Others clearly love the freedom of being off of a leash and having plenty of room to run.
We live in an apartment, so he needs to be able to get out on the leash and just be a dog.
And it's just fun to be around all this much energy. I mean, there's so much good energy around here when the dogs are out here, so that makes it so fun.
The park features separate play areas for small dogs and large dogs like Belle, a 12-year-old greyhound just rescued and now enjoying a slower pace.
It's been wonderful. She graces my home.
Pets and their people all seem to find something to enjoy out here.
All the dogs are having a blast, as well as their owners, so we're very excited about what we've done today.
Well, it's our first dog park, and people have wanted this for some time, and as we continue to transform more into an urban area, we're going to have some, large green spaces for our animals to be able to run around and play and mix and mingle with each other in a pleasurable environment.
They love it.
The park features shaded areas for pet owners to relax, along with wireless internet.
You can sit there and Wi-Fi. What else do you need?
Come get a drink.
There are also drinking fountains for humans and dogs, although some dogs seem a bit confused by it.
Too complicated for them, I guess. I think they're too excited.
But some clearly got the hang of it.
You know what? It's their park, and I'm sure they're going to figure it out, but they're going to use it their way.
He likes his water.
The dog park is the newest addition to Irving's Animal Care Campus, which also features Irving Animal Services and the DFW Humane Society. So the hope is people who come out to have fun with their dogs might actually find a new friend to take home.
That is absolutely what we're hoping for. Yes, we need more traffic in our new shelter. We have so many great animals for adoption, and we're hoping somebody out here might want a companion for their existing pets.
People will look for a dog park, and then they'll realize the animal shelter is next door, and they'll get to view everything we have in our adoption mall.
Honey is one of the dogs up for adoption now. She preferred our cameraman's lap to playing in the park. And this is the place where dogs can be themselves. Max also prefers to take it easy.
Well, I think she's more of an observer than she is a participator. She likes sitting around watching the other animals run and play.
The animals that are a little more active are soon dog tired. And that brings a benefit to pet owners.
Hopefully I'll get 20 minutes nap out of all three of them so I can do something around the house.
If you got a dog at home that's barking all the time and got energy, he's got to unwind, you bring him in here for a half hour, your neighbors will be happy, you'll sleep better.
He loved it. He ran around like crazy and worn out. Now we can take him home and he'll chill.
From precious pugs to handsome hounds and darting dachshunds, these dogs and their owners agree that this park is a hit.
Thank you. He has absolutely loved it. This is just fabulous. And we're down far south Irving, but we'll be making the trip out here many times.
Everyone that had anything to do with this has just done a tremendous job. It's terrific.
Okay, great job at the dog park. You know, it's funny, the design of this building was kind of a misunderstanding. You know, Mara asked, you know, how are we ever going to get this thing built? And so I said, Mara, save up your pennies for 12 years and build it, all right? Now, I didn't mean use the pennies to build it with. It was about the money. Just kidding. But you see the great work that the city's done with the animal shelter and the dog park and other projects, and, you know, we get recognition for our efforts a lot. And I'm going to flip through 3 or 4 slides and just sort of let you see some of the different things we win. It's always amazing. Whatever department it is, whether it's ICTN or the water department, the street department, our management team, you know, we're the best place to work in the Dallas Business Journal. It's always first place. It's always highest bar, excellence, award of merit. You know, always, you know, the top design, the top best everything. And you can see, you know, as you go through that, even down to government award for first place for Keep Irving Beautiful, you know, the planning awards, corridor enhancement awards, outstanding gold, all these types of words that you see, innovation award for partnerships in education, excellence in design, best utility, you know, gold level award. The governor gets involved and chimes in and comments on what's happening in our community and provides us with lots of recognition. It's really amazing. And those 4 particular slides that we just sort of whipped through, you know, it's just part of what's really happened. It's really more than 100 different awards for recognition that the city and the city departments have received, you know, from state and national organizations. So, you know, we're doing great jobs in all the ways that you may or may not even see. And that's because we have a couple thousand of really exceptional people, you know, working for us, and we have a great management team, and they get great leadership from the city council, a great seasoned group. And one of the most recent awards that we won was part of a Super Bowl program called Super Grow 45. In fact, here's the trophy right here. We won most valuable. It was a competition of 12 cities that are Super Bowl host cities, and it was a very, very nice luncheon, and Drew Pearson was there and gave away the award, and other mayors were there, and representatives from the federal government, the state, tree planting associations and all that. You know, we are designated as a Tree City USA. That happened this past year as well, which is very significant because of our efforts and our understanding of preserving, you know, our natural environment. We have a tree board. We have a green committee. advisory group of citizens that help us with all kinds of initiatives. You'll see solar-powered lights all over town and different types of things that we're doing to save energy. We have a green fleet, and we use natural gas vehicles, and we're upgrading our garbage trucks and all of our service vehicles and things like that to use less fuel and protect the environment. And of course, we have Keep Irving Beautiful that we partner with on many of these efforts. Again, partnerships that provide us progress. So it was a great, great event. In the Super Grow 45, the whole effort planted about 6,500 trees around the Metroplex, which was a tremendous result. And so it was a great, great recognition. And of course, the Super Bowl is coming to town. So this picture, remember last year I told you about the Big Four, that used to be the Big Three, until I horned in on it. And then Irving became the host for the NFC team for the Super Bowl. That's still the case. They'll be out at the Omni. Things have progressed really well. It's a major, major effort. There's been a year-long series of events and concerts and all types of programs, literacy programs, environmental programs. The league goes very, very far with regards to small business initiatives and minority business initiatives, and Irving's been very fortunate. We've had 150 so residents from Irving that are on the official volunteer team. We had 117 elementary school students participate in what's called the Slant 45 program, which is a major reading initiative that involved thousands and thousands of children. And, of course, I've got to get around to this subject, because if you remember, we talked about the Super Bowl last year, if you remember. And what's been very interesting lately, when the playoffs occurred and they got down to where you had New York and Chicago and Green Bay and Pittsburgh, and all the talking heads were speculating on what would be better for us, for them to win. Well, of course, it'd be New York, because they travel a lot and a bunch of rich people live up there, and Chicago, same thing. So they're going to come to town and spend a lot of money, like that really meant something. Remember, we had this conversation last year. However, remember last year we had to also declare with our words, which we have to be careful, because we said we do not want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl this year, okay? Now, look what happened. Now, I'm not saying it was your fault, because you sat there and let me say it, okay? But we did catch a lot of flack over that, and it was amazing. And this was just right prior to a meeting that we had with the aviation officials in Miami for that Super Bowl. And they were talking about how New York almost qualified for their Super Bowl, and they had 200 corporate jets all set up to fly in, and they were seeing big dollar signs, and then they lost. And then New Orleans won, and they don't travel as well flying in from New York, and so they were decimated. And I just threw out an innocent question in front of all these mayors. Well, what would have happened if the Miami Dolphins would have made the Super Bowl coming to Miami this year? The guy didn't hesitate. He said it would have been the worst thing ever, okay? So I'm looking over at the boys, and Leopard said, "You know what, Herb? I agree with you. I just never would have said it." I said, "Okay, I'll give you that." So anyway, it's a great, great event. You're going to see a lot of economic activity. It's a great benefit for our region. And Bill Lively and the host committee has done such a wonderful job. The league is impressed. They're going to come back every 5 years. And so when you think about $500 or $600 million in economic impact to the region, do that every 5 years, it's almost like $100 million or $2 a year on average. And it means a great deal, to our hospital. Every hotel in the Metroplex is booked, for a couple of weeks. And it's really cool because the expensive ones, they charge you $600 a night, and then you got to book 4 or 5 night minimum. You only need it for one night. So it's kind of a good deal. But it works out. I mean, it's a good deal for us, right? That's why we want to, that's what we're all about, making money off these visitors, right? Because we got to pay for all that stuff, right? To bring that here. Mara wants her money back. She wants her money back. But in any case, we mentioned the students from the school district participating, and I just want to take a second to let you know something significant, about our school district. Recently, the Texas Comptroller's Office awarded our school district with a 5-star rating for their performance in education and money management. Okay? So finally, the state has figured out how to judge a school district. They figured out that it's not only just one measurement of test scores, that it's also money management, it's also the demographics and the conditions, and how well are you accomplishing educating a child when you consider all the factors that are involved in doing so in the real world. So the Texas Comptroller's Office has figured that out. They've cracked the code on how to really measure a school system. Only 43 school districts in the state, and we have over 1,200 school districts in the state, receive this level of honor. So that means we're ahead of about 96% of all other public school districts in the state of Texas. And Dr. Bedden and the teachers and the administration at the Irving ISD deserve some credit for that result. So just thank the Irving ISD. It's important. It's important that we have great neighborhoods. You know, it's important that we have an abundance of jobs, and we do. And it's important that we have great school systems. That's what's going to make our community continue to be successful. And we have all those things. And it's the great school systems that create a highly educated, diverse workforce that we're known for. That's how we're able to attract businesses. That's why we're able to succeed and get the successes that make us a 5-star chamber, so we can continue to build on that. And you'll see with our economic development efforts, you heard a lot about that from the previous speakers. We've had a lot of success, and we continue to do so. And it's because we're attractive in our location, we're attractive in the cost of business in this area, in Texas and particularly in Irving. We're attractive with our workforce, and we've got a whole lot of reasons for you to want to locate your business and live here. And I will tell you, the businesses pay 75% of the taxes that pay for all the services that make great neighborhoods, that provide the quality of life that we have. So that's very significant. You know, a typical city will be less than 50%, and it's always their goal, you know, to make sure they're increasing their commercial tax base, which is our goal as well. It's critical, and it shows up in a lot of ways. Firstly, in this chart, hopefully, you know, I can't see that screen, by the way. So if I ever start talking about some chart that's not there, do say something, or, you know, let me know. But Kristen take good care of me behind that curtain, by the way. And she's done a great job in presenting all of this and putting all this together, and she's now done it for a couple of years. Kristen, thanks for everything. I think she can hear us, but truly, you know, we measure our cities. You know, we measure our cities against top-tier cities. You know, not all cities provide libraries like we do. Not all cities provide the level of service with recreation centers and all the things that we provide. So we're what you call a Tier 1 city with provision of services, and that's who you want to compare yourself to. And look at the tax rates in these other cities. Now, tax base is tax base. I don't care where it's located. If it's $1 billion in tax base, it's $1 billion and generates taxes based on whatever your rate is. So even though some of these cities are larger, they shouldn't have these disproportionate tax rates. And the reason why they do is because we do so well with our recruitment and retention and cultivation of our commercial tax base, and we're able to lower that burden, and the homeowners are the ones who benefit and experience that benefit the most. And so this is the chart that makes me the most proud about our community, to have the lowest tax rates of any city around here that we measure ourselves against. And on the next chart, it applies to the next bill that you have. Everybody has a water bill, so it's almost like a tax. These are the cities that purchase water from the Dallas water utility system. We do. We purchase about 10% of our water from Dallas. The other 90% is provided from our own water supply that's out in East Texas that we spend millions of dollars pumping through pipelines, you know, to get it here, which was a great vision that the leaders had 40 years ago to give us that ability. But you can see on this chart with regards to what we charge our residents for water, Dallas is about midway through that chart. You can't see it. And we're actually buy water from Dallas and sell it to our residents cheaper than the city of Dallas sells water to their residents. And we buy it from Dallas and do that. So it's an amazing accomplishment that occurs because of good management in our water system. And that doesn't just include pumping water. That includes thinking about the future, developing future water supplies, thinking about replacing pipelines that are 50, 60, 70 years old. Remember, Irving's over 100 years old. So that means there's parts of Irving that are 90, parts of Irving are 80, parts are 70 and 60. And so for the first time in the last few years, we've been talking about what we've got to do for redevelopment. You're going to hear some more about redevelopment, but first I want to let you know about our new library. You know, it's a significant project. It's a net zero library. You're going to see the video talking about it, all the solar panels. It generates its own electricity, and so it's a very environmentally green, efficient building. And this is the direction that public facilities are going, particularly in the city of Irving. So we've got a little video that we need to let you know what's happening with our library system. We've adopted a plan where we have 4 very large, very comprehensive, very modern facilities in strategic locations throughout the community to serve us. We've opened the one in Valley Ranch already. We're getting ready to open one in West Irving, and then we've got one coming up to replace the Central Library. So, Kristen, you want to play that? It's about a 3-minute video. I'll let you know about the library.
The city of Irving is working hard on its library system vision.
What we're doing is we're setting up 4 large city-owned buildings to where we can provide more opportunities to the residents.
Valley Ranch was the first new facility built, a place many North Irving residents enjoy.
Just the structure of it that was really designed to meet the people's needs, whether it was with the children or with the adults.
Next up to open its doors will be West Irving Library, now in its final stages of construction. Perhaps one of the best features of this library are these solar panels.
We'll be putting up a total of 1,444 of these.
The panels make this a net zero building, generating the same amount of electricity that it uses during a year.
So it will not take any electricity off the grid. So that's going to save the city about $55,000 a year.
It's going to be environmentally friendly, and it's just very exciting.
It's an exciting time for library advocates. Members of Friends of the Library are very anxious for each new facility to be complete.
The forethought that I think the city had in planning 4 strategic locations for the city was really marvelous.
Marvelous is exactly what the city of Irving is trying to achieve, adding larger computer labs and making children's areas more multi-purpose.
We're making these buildings the latest technology, some of the best and brightest things that are going on in libraries.
The state-of-the-art West Irving Library is located off of Rochelle and Esters, and with just a few final touches to go,
we have already awarded bids for the furniture.
Should be open for business in the beginning of April. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Plans for the 3rd new high-tech library are well underway.
They're going to build a new South Branch library, which is going to be beautiful, and it's going to be just across the way here, right near Centennial Park.
Here off of Irving Boulevard on the corner of Schultz and Sauer Streets will stand the South Branch Library.
We just hired the architects at the end of November, and so we've been, staff has been meeting with the architects and working through some of the development program for the project. New computer labs, digital boards for people to interact, and digital tables for people to interact with.
And the location will likely open the door for more library programming.
This site will have the ability to have some outdoor programming going on around Centennial Lake that's there right now that a lot of people use currently.
For those already actively involved in the library, these new facilities confirm what they already believe to be true.
Irving has the best library system of any neighboring community around the city of Dallas. There is no doubt about it.
And by bringing these facilities into the 21st century, the city hopes to meet the current needs of the community.
It's going to be so much better.
Ashley Roberts for City Source.
Okay, good deal. That's what's going on in the library system. Yes. Very nice. And also want to let you know that we've got our eye on the future. We actually, some years ago, placed a $10 million item in a bond election to build a new senior center. Now, it seems like the senior center we have was new just not too long ago. It's really, about 7 or 8 years old, and other cities are already building bigger and better ones, and that's what happens, with public venues. The cities sort of leapfrog each other. But we have a very large senior population. That senior center is used well, and we're going to need another one. So we have started that process already by appointing an advisory committee, and they're going out and visiting different facilities around and looking at ideas and thinking about where they would locate this project. And so you're going to hear more about that. And so, what I want you to know after having watched some of those videos from the past is that we make these sort of casual remarks like this, and we say, oh, by the way, we're thinking about having a North Lake College, down at MacArthur and 6th Street, maybe redo the intersection. We'll let you know about that. And look what happened. Okay? And so there are examples of that over and over and over in the last 6 years. And so this is what we're telling you now, is that we're going to have a big, brand new senior center located in the perfect location, to continue to serve our growing population of seniors. I'm telling you that now. And then one day in the future, we're going to be looking back and watching the video of, we're cutting the ribbon. There's a guy with the cigar in the hat cutting the ribbon. Okay? So that's where we're headed. Just so you know, it's important that when we bring those things up. And also, we've got another very, very special event that's happening is, we're putting together the Genghis Khan exhibit. Our arts department is bringing in a very significant exhibit. Right now it's over in Singapore, I think, and when they get down over there, they're going to come over here, for several months, I think June through September. And we've made a large investment in this exhibit, and it's incredible. You may not know much about Genghis Khan, but you're going to learn some very significant facts. Genghis Khan in 25 years, conquered more population and more territory than the Roman Empire did in 400 years. And so, you know, his mark on history is tremendous with regards to even shaping the boundaries of what we know today as China and India and Korea and things like that. He created all those boundaries and sort of apportioned everything out when he was in control. He was a Mongolian. And of course, we have a sister cities relationship with the city of Mongolia. But it was really our affiliation with the Smithsonian that gave us the opportunity to make this investment and bring this exhibit to our city. There's about 75,000 people, you know, that we expect to see this. We've already got about 14 or 15,000 students signed up to come and see this. So I'm going to show you, they've got a little 30-second promo video you're going to see about that, but we want you to remember that because we're going to get out and support the Genghis Khan exhibit. Kristen? That ought to get you going, right? It's just too short. I want more. I wanted more. Okay, I mentioned to you that you know, we really had a focus on a topic that's new. And before I get started, though, I see somebody here in the audience that we didn't introduce. You know, we've got a very, very competent, longtime Irving servant, served years in the past on the city council as attorney in town. And he represents us on the dartboard, and I also saw the dartboard chairman over there and some other members. So I just want to recognize John Danish, our dartboard representative, is here. And we're going to hear a little bit more about dart, you know, and our role in that regional success and what it's meaning for our community. But when we talk about redevelopment, you know, we really are looking at, you know, some of the older parts of our community. And, you know, it's obvious that we have a major artery going through South Irving in the form of Irving Boulevard and 2nd Street. And so we've decided to focus on the Irving Boulevard corridor, stretching all the way from Loop 12, you know, back up to 183, and created what's called a tax increment financing zone. Now, that's the mechanism that we use to create all the development that you see up here in the urban center, and it works. It works. It's a 30-year program where the city dedicates incremental taxes within this zone back into the zone for infrastructure improvements and different types of incentives for developers. And so what happens is development occurs, the tax base grows, the incremental taxes provide even more benefit to the city. We share a part of those incremental taxes, you know, back in producing public spaces and public amenities and infrastructure. And it's worked very, very well in the urban center, and it's a very, very effective tool, and it's a 30-year tool that's going to be accessed by city councils in the future and today. We're talking about $89 million investment over 30 years that we're making available in the Irving Boulevard corridor. Now, we can all talk about how to make improvements, how to change, how to upgrade, how to do all these things for a long, long time, okay? But if you ever want to see some real difference, some real progress, you've got to create some partnerships. And these vehicles like these tax increment financing zones create that for us. We create partnerships with the development community and our city, you know, to make things happen. And if you don't have the vehicles in place, if you're not really giving yourself much of a chance, you know, other than just sort of sitting there and hoping something happens. And so, you know, we get a lot of things done, but we also get a lot of work done that sets us up for the future. And this tax increment financing zone is that. And of course, the zone, you'll see it stretches. It includes the Heritage District, which will be that little spot down in the middle. That's where we first started. You know, we identified a 1 square mile area and we said, look, let's see what we can do to have redevelopment. We already begun buying properties and said, we've got to solve this problem that we have too many fractured property owners. We've got to get parcels purchased and put together so that we can have some meaningful development. And that's what's been underway. And that's the Heritage District project. Before that, though, with improvements in the corridor, amazing, just a simple talk about it, working with the developers, working with the business owners, we've seen improvements. And you can drive up and down Irving Boulevard and see JPT Graphics, for example, was mentioned earlier in the chamber. You can see the new Aldi store on Irving Boulevard that's replacing the Cost Plus, much better. You see the new Jack in the Box. We just had an announcement of a new Burger King coming in that tore down the old Arby's. They're updating Compass Bank. There in the old downtown area. So those owners continue to participate in upgrading the same area that we're putting our attention to, you know, in the Irving Boulevard corridor. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Heritage District project more, but first I'd like you to watch this video. You heard about it earlier. You know, this is the largest McDonald's that's been built in the country in 20 years. That's significant. Now, this McDonald's is already insanely successful, and those business owners are happy. And this is in South Irving. This is right on Irving Boulevard. So, Kristen, let's see the video. It was a significant development for Irving. in the last year, and we want you to know about it.
We would like to do the ribbon cutting.
It's the grand opening of the huge new McDonald's in Heritage Crossing.
And we're real proud about how it's all turned out.
Along with smiles on the faces of business leaders are smiles of many customers.
All right.
Sheila Scott couldn't wait to visit.
We saw about the grand opening, so we brought my grandson down here.
And now her grandson doesn't want to leave.
He is having a ball.
It's awesome.
Ricardo Jimenez is here with his 2-year-old twins, Ricky and Christian. Does it make you want to come to this part of town more, knowing that there's an attraction like this here?
Oh, of course.
The first days of this restaurant have been so successful that owner Heath Massey is already hiring more employees.
It's been over our predictions. We have had lines out the door for the first 5 to 7 days, and it hasn't really dropped off.
He had about 60 crew members at the store that used to stand on this property. He thought 80 would be enough for the new restaurant, but he's already hiring 40 more.
I think everybody's liking the store.
Old and new favorites found at every McDonald's. But this one also has games, Wi-Fi, and even more you can't immediately see, including many green features.
Even our furniture, if you look around, it's all done with recycled materials.
So we're standing on top of a huge tank?
Yes, very, very huge tank.
That underground tank holds 20,000 gallons of rainwater.
We can wash our parking lots and irrigate all of our landscaping that we put in.
The state-of-the-art building is getting a lot of attention.
We are trying to get the word out to let people know that truly this is a destination-type McDonald's, a supersized restaurant.
For many, it is the sign of progress they have been waiting to see in Heritage Crossing, a project to bring new retail and residential to downtown Irving. Not far down Irving Boulevard, BBVA Compass Bank is another project already completed. Do you see momentum in Heritage Crossing?
Absolutely, absolutely. Have you seen the growth here lately? I mean, this is the place to be.
Without everybody's cooperation, we couldn't have done this.
Now, the city hopes that these successes will spark more development, and testimonials like this won't hurt either.
The city has committed to us like no other. The support they're giving us, the amount of business that we've had, we are more than happy. I just want to say thank you to Irving.
Very nice. He's very happy. He had to invested about $3.5 million to do that, and he had to shut his operation down for about 6 months. But he was committed, and he told me he wanted to be the first project in the Heritage District. He said McDougal came in and lunch and had coffee with him and said he wanted to buy his McDonald's, and he said, of course, I'm not going to do that. But it gave him the idea to go ahead and upgrade it himself. So, it worked out really well. And, the Heritage District project, we purchased 85 pieces of property. You can see here from the map, these different red tracks are the ones that we've assembled, and they're out there in the market marketing these pieces. And, this is very, very prime real estate. In fact, some of this real estate is for sale for $21 a foot. Okay, now that's pretty expensive real estate. We only paid $7.75 a foot for the real estate we're on in this building. Okay, so those prices compete, with high value real estate that you see all over Irving and Las Colinas, and South Irving is no different. So, it's unfortunate that, of course, markets drive development, not cities. We can wish and hope and incentivize and create all the perfect conditions all we want, but lenders and markets and profits drive what happens in the real world with projects like this. And so, what's happened in our case as we've been able to put together these pieces of land, we haven't seen much come back and build yet because of the financing conditions in the economy that we're in right now. However, we're doing what's best and what most people are unable to do, and that's be ready for when the market comes back. We've got a lot of redevelopment in South Irving. In fact, we've torn down 24 different apartment properties, and that has tremendously assisted us in reducing the crime rate. And, you can tell me all day long that you're not happy about the progress you see with development, but I will tell you, if I tear down an apartment complex that has 200 police calls a year going to it, that's fallen down and providing substandard living conditions for good people, and replace it with a green piece of grass field, then I have redeveloped that piece of property, okay? Now, sure, we'll have more coming in the future, but that progress is important because absolutely nothing will happen while those dilapidated structures and rundown structures are there. So again, these are temporary roles that we serve in these elected positions. And some of these projects take time. One of the songs that was playing, the Chicago song, said, good things in life, take a long time. And so that's really kind of the way it is sometimes with cities. But I'll tell you as well, it's not always as long as you think. And then sometimes it is, for example, the highway construction. You know, do you ever feel like, hey, they're really making a lot of progress over here by the stadium on this highway construction? It looks like a lot of stuff's happening. You know, it's a lot, and it is. And you drive through there and you think this is really happening pretty fast. But really it's not. You got to think again, because really time goes by fast. Okay, and that's your life passing by so fast. That construction is taking the usual time it always takes. It just seems like it's going by fast because our lives are going by fast. Okay, and we've got to remember that. You know, and think about what's important in our life and think about our futures and things like that. I don't know how I got off on that, about the highway, but because it occurred to me one day, I was thinking, oh, we're moving along really fast. And I said, well, wait a minute, I hadn't been that fast. I'm just getting old. So fast, you know, but anyway, so we're positioning ourselves, you know, for when the market's right and that development will occur. And you've got to remember that we're right in the middle of the fastest growing metropolitan area in the country. We're surrounded by 6.5 million people. We've got tremendous transportation infrastructure. We've got great trees. We've got water features in South Irving. We've got everything that's desired. And so that property value will remain high, you know, always. And so we're happy that we're continuing that effort. And by the way, we decided we were going to invest $40 million in this Heritage Crossing development. And we've set it all up to get our money back. So in the end, if it's not perfect and it becomes messy and it's hard to do, I'm going to own everything. And that's what we started out to do, is to solve one problem, that we had too many property owners. So when the city owns everything, we have a great deal of abilities to incentivize people to build things that we'd like to see. Okay, and that's the path that we've been on for some time, and we're going to continue, particularly with the demolition of these apartments. And I tell you, you know, we've gone further than that with demolitions. You know, we use TxDOT, the expansion of 183, you know, to be able to knock out some of these hotels. I mean, we're talking 400 police calls a year. You know, these hotels are not serving the business traveler, right, Maura? I mean, we appreciate the hotel tax. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I saved a whole lot of money whenever I tore down that convention center hotel. The crime rate dropped to 0.5% overnight. So we've had tremendous amounts of redevelopment efforts. Last year we talked a lot about Tudor Lane, street in Irving, the worst street in Irving, one of the worst in Dallas County for drugs and crime. Our team of employees, our team of departments, the city got on that. We purchased every property on that street. We tore it down. Now we're coming back with 27 new single-family homes that are going to be affordable. We're creating a whole new community there. And then we're going to get rid of the name Tudor Lane. We're going to change that to like Chief Boyd Lane or something like that. You know, so they'll never know, you know, where that was, and we'll forever rid our community of that. You know, talked a little bit, mentioned, you know, I introduced John, and Dart's come up, and just want to let you know, show you this picture of this regional system that we are enrolled in and have been for 25 years. You know, we understand the value of regional transportation, and that's our orange line. Now, the first segment coming to this building is 75% complete already, and it will be finished in August of 2012. The second segment, which goes out to the Beltline station, is on track for December of 2012. And then the third segment is going out for bids that takes us on in the airport. Will be done a year after that. So everything's on track with the rail. And it's amazing because that is, again, another partnership that provides a lot of progress for our community. And you may or may not remember the story that we told in 2006 about Jefferson, Texas. Jefferson, Texas. Everybody knows where Jefferson, Texas is out in East Texas. But you may not know that 100 years ago, Jefferson, Texas was the second largest and second most wealthiest city in the state of Texas. Second, with 50,000 people in population. First was Galveston. Galveston. Now, why was that? Because, of course, Galveston was a port city, and back then that's what mattered, seaports and river ports. And the city of Jefferson, you know, the Red River, you could take the biggest ship around that day and wind your way up the Red River and get all the way to Jefferson, Texas. So it was the furthest inland port, you know, that was in the state, and so they thrived because of that. They were a boom town. They were booming. But today, Jefferson, Texas is population 2,500. They lost 95% of their population in 100 years. And what happened, and it's easy to see, there were two critical decisions that Jefferson made. And we think about these things because we want to make sure we learn lessons and don't repeat mistakes, number one, but certainly understand the value of the decisions that we have to make. They made two decisions. They weren't happy with the rail line people. You know, they didn't like them, and they were loud, the track was loud, the train was loud, and so they didn't want the rail line coming through town, so they bypassed Jefferson. The rail line bypassed Jefferson. That was the first problem. The next mistake that Jefferson made was they had an issue that they dealt with for a long, long time. You know, the river was great, and it was deep, and it worked fine, but a little bit further upriver, it had a log jam in the river that was there for all the lives that people could remember. In fact, the log jam was 100 miles long in the Red River. It was a problem that they worked to solve. When nitroglycerin was invented, they figured out how to solve the log jam problem. They blew it up. They blew up the log jam. They blew up their log jam. They solved their problem. But what happened was when they did, all the water flowed in the river, and so the level of the river went down so far, now the boats couldn't make it up to Jefferson, so now they died. Just like that. They were a port city, and they died. They blew up their log jam. They solved the biggest problem they ever had in their history, and it killed the future of their community at the same time, as well as the decision to have the rail line bypassing. So those are important lessons to learn, because we get the opportunity to know about it now, but it's much harder to observe the conditions we're in and the decisions that we're making, and are we letting the rail line bypass Irving? Well, you know, I can tell you specifically we're not. In fact, we worked to get that rail line, we called it the Texas Stadium line, snaking through our community past the stadium and up into Las Colinas Urban Center and going to the airport as it now. They were going to bypass Irving. They were going up the Manana Spur and coming in from the top. So the leadership had to make a decision thinking about our future, and so we work with our partners over in DART. And that's the kind of respect that they provided us, you know, to be able to make that alignment change, and look what it's meant to our community. And so now you look at, you know, yourself and you say, well, okay, we didn't blow it on the rail line. What have we blown up lately? You know, I'm just checking in. You know, I know the history. And as a matter of fact, we recently did blow up something. Imagine that. And we talked in 2.6 about not blowing up our log jam. You know, we talked about the airport, how we have to support the airport. You know, what that means to us, and we don't want to go bad with the airport, because that's like blowing up your log jam there. I mean, you know, you got to really be careful about that. So, you know, we blew up Texas Stadium, and it was the most significant, you know, largest event, you know, that we had last year. I'm going to show you a 4-minute video for any of those who may not have seen what happened. This is the shortest, best presentation. Kristen?
A 38-year history. 2,700 pounds of dynamite. And memories too numerous to count. Texas Stadium was imploded on the morning of Sunday, April 11th, 2010.
It's sad, you know, you kind of welled up, you know, when the fireworks started going, the music, you know. You don't even want to look. You know, right now the dust is protecting us from what's there, but we'll be, that site will forever change.
It was a moment thousands of people wanted to see. They started gathering at the site around midnight.
Across the highway over there, people are all over the place over there. It is incredible.
Here at the VIP event, just about everyone had a story to share.
A lot of memories from the stadium, but more to people, you know, the people, you know, after the games, going in the parking lot, having our tailgate things.
I got engaged in there and graduated from high school in there, played football a couple times in there.
But they know the stadium, considered state-of-the-art in the 1970s, is past its prime.
I've heard so much about blowing it up. I want to see it go down. I'm ready for it to happen.
A partnership with Kraft also generated attention and money for local charities. 11-year-old Casey Rogers won a contest to press the final button that will bring the stadium down. He talked with event MC Chris Berman of ESPN.
How you feeling right now, big guy?
I'm just really excited.
These fireworks and other images from this celebration will be used in a national advertising campaign. But for now, all eyes are on Texas Stadium in its last moment standing.
lot of tears streaming when that roof came in. That's our memories. No one's ever going to take away.
You're not going to lose the memories. The stadium might be gone, but the memories and the team is still here.
As the dust clears, revealing the debris left behind, there is sadness among many fans, but former city leaders involved in getting the stadium built are feeling
satisfaction that we did what we said we would do, and everything came out and it was fulfilled exactly as we represented.
Taxpayers never spent a dime on it. It's a beautiful stadium, and it just has worked real well.
The land will be sold and generate property tax revenue for the first time. Concrete debris will be ground up and used in the rebuilt roadways. Steel from the roof could be used as a public art piece. The stadium may be gone, but never forgotten.
It is just a part of our life that'll just be in our hearts and not in our eyes anymore.
That's right, for sure. And very appropriate, lifelong resident David Cole got the last word on that video, but it was a touching moment. You know, it was bittersweet. I mean, I didn't like paying the $200,000 a month to keep it open, but it sure felt bad, you know, when we saw it fall down. But also what's been amazing is, you know, how we viewed that situation over the years. You know, it's been like the home of the Cowboys, and so we have a sentimental, traditional way that we look at that we think about that. You know, it has meaning, you know, to people with regards to the home team and the Dallas Cowboys and all of that. And, you know, really, though, you have to sort of step back to see exactly what was occurring. First of all, you know, the city of Irving was in the entertainment business. You know, we owned that entertainment venue. And that team leased that building. And that was a destination for people outside of Irving to get them to come to Irving for whatever reason, whether it be a football game or a concert or a preacher or a tractor pull or a motocross or a Cinco de Mayo festival or Diwali Day festival, any types of things. There were about 30 events held there at that entertainment venue every year. So when we talk about blowing up our logjam, you know, they didn't realize what that logjam meant to them. And in our case, you know, that stadium meant more than just a home for the beloved Cowboys. That really had less meaning. You know, the greater meaning was what it provided with regards to being an entertainment destination to create people coming from outside of Irving to come into Irving. And that's an important component in the fabric of our hospitality industry, to have an entertainment destination. All cities our size have them. Certainly Grand Prairie has an entertainment destination, in Arlington and Grapevine, and Dallas has many, and Fort Worth has many. And so we blew up our entertainment destination, and that's something that we've been working for a few years now to attend to, because we realized that. And in fact, this particular, well, let me just show you briefly what the Texas Stadium site looks like now, if they hadn't seen that slide up there. Now, what's going to happen up there next? Right now, we've got a lot of highway construction that's going to go on. We leased the site to TxDOT, and we picked up about $16.5 million for them to use it as a staging area. Very good economic decision. We've had every offer under the sun for that property, for single corporate campuses down to very involved mixed-use, multi-dimensional developments. In my belief, what's going to drive that future development will be the train station that's going to be there. You'll probably see some sort of transit-oriented development, high-rise residential, commercial mixed use that wants to be close to the train station and make use of the mass transportation. That's probably what's going to drive what happens in there in the end. What you got to know is that it's a tremendous opportunity for the future for our community, and that's what we've always had. You know, when the airport was built, when the stadium was built originally, when Ben Carpenter decided to make his vision a reality in Las Colinas, you know, these were opportunities that meant a lot to our future, and we've got more coming, you know, with the redevelopment that we've got underway, and also this Texas Stadium redevelopment site. So, you know, look for more to come on that. We'll be talking about that for many meetings. But what are we going to replace that entertainment destination with? Well, that starts with this facility right here. This is phase one of our entertainment destination. This facility, you know, will bring hundreds of thousands of visitors to our community. It's beautiful, it's significant, it's iconic, it fits the character and nature of what we expect in high-quality design in the Las Colinas area. It's right here on 114. It's been the talk of the Metroplex, and it will continue to be that way. This facility will make the events that occur here better, and we're going to do everything to have that happen. And what's even been nicer is, has anybody noticed the Zest Fest advertising on Channel 5? Or how about on everywhere, okay? You know, Zest Fest, they'll bring 10 to 20,000 people here. We're going to cut the ribbon tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We want you all to come back and check out Zest Fest and see what this place looks like when it's fully engaged in a big convention and having a lot of visitors. It's unbelievable, and it never occurred to me that other people would be advertising Irving, Texas, and the Irving Convention Center in Las Colinas. And they're doing that now, and I just think that just means more and more to us. And remember, you don't build facilities like this. First of all, hotel occupancy tax pays for this, not City of Irving taxpayers. The hotel community imposes a tax on themselves, essentially, because we impose it on them, and we do it through elections and things like that. But they can stop us, they can fight us and disagree with us. So when the hotel community enrolls in a project, you know, look at the benefit that comes to our community. That tax was imposed on the customers that stay there, and those hoteliers have to pay the tax that pays for this facility right here, not the Irving taxpayers. And this building is not built to make a profit. This is not a profitable venture. This building is a support mechanism for our industry. The purpose of this building is to bring heads and beds and produce greater profits and greater business activity for our hoteliers and for our hospitality industry. The taxes from those activities pay for this facility. So it's a little bit different of a model, you know, that you might expect. So when you see lots of people coming to this facility, then it's being very, very successful, and it's all being funded, you know, by the activities in the hotel community. So I know everybody's proud of this building, and I could talk on forever about it, but getting back to Zest Fest. Now, after Zest Fest, we've got about 35 different other events that are coming to this facility. I believe even Texas Fest is coming to this facility. We've had some late-breaking Super Bowl events, you know, that are going to be coming to the facility. So, you know, watch the news, get an idea about the scheduling, and you're going to see a lot of exciting things happening out here. Now, also, phase 2 of this project, we had an election in 2007, and the voters elected to create the entertainment venue. When we decided to build the convention center, we produced a study that talked about what would be our niche market, what would be the advantages we could provide in design, and what would be helpful to ensure the success of that facility. Well, of course, a hotel is identified, and some sort of entertainment, some sort of restaurant, some sort of something to do, you know, for conventioneers when they came here. So that's what you've been hearing about lately in the entertainment venue. We had an election in 2007 to create user fees, taxes on users, to pay for the construction of the entertainment venue. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the venue because it's an important project, and we do have a video, and this is our last topic for tonight. So all the guys who are betting on the over and under, I am going to talk a little while about this project, but we're going to get finished with this project. This is the most significant undertaking ever by the city of Irving, and we've worked on it for years. We've invested over $25 million already in design into a project, and we've educated ourselves. Remember, we were in the entertainment business for 40 years. We had a tenant, we did well. The entertainment business has changed. We're not going to have an NFL team as our tenant anymore. So what's another version of that? Well, these concert venues seem to be very successful and seem to work well. Let's go that direction. So we educated ourselves. We went out and partnered with the best people. Live Nation, they're the largest producer of live entertainment in the world. We partnered with them to teach us about the business, and the music business has changed. When I was a younger man going out to see live entertainment, a concert, if you will, you know, it was because one of my favorite artists had a new album. And that was the business model. A young artist would go to a record label and sign a contract and produce an album, and the record label would send that artist out on the road to sell those albums. And the profits in the business model were driven by the album sales and the number of album sales. Okay, that whole world has disappeared because I can get that album on the internet. And I can take a couple of laptops and go into my garage and produce that album. So times have changed. The business has changed. The record labels no longer control the artists. The profits in the entertainment business today are driven by the live performances. And therefore, those who control and manage and operate the venues for live performances are the ones who now control the artists. You know, Madonna signs a $200 million contract with Live Nation for them to book her in all their facilities around the world and turnkey, sell the tickets, sell the concessions, sell the T-shirts, everything. I'll take my $200 million. Same thing, Michael Jackson. He had a contract with our competitor, Anschutz Entertainment Group, booked him for 50 shows in the O2 Arena, which they control, and paid him $100 million to do that. That's the business. The booking agents, those entities control the music and the entertainment. So we've been able to learn that and learn from them. And it's amazing because the CEO for Live Nation told me that even though he's the largest producer of live music in the world, he's in the concessions business. That his profit are created in his business model on the sale of concessions. He said, Herb, the entertainers take all the money. The entertainers want to take everything. He says, I'm in the concessions business. And it was very impressive to understand that. And he explained that that's the future of the entertainment world. And it's the same thing in the football business. You go over and look at Cowboy Stadium. You know, the athletes take all the money. Cowboy Stadium is a lot of concession infrastructure that actually generates the profits that come out of the business model. Think about McDonald's, for example. I mean, don't you think that McDonald's is doing pretty good in the hamburger business? Okay, they sell a lot of Big Macs. Okay, and they make a quarter off of that Big Mac. So they make good money because they sell a lot. However, when they sell the 99-cent Coke, they make 96 cents profit. So are they really in the hamburger business? Or are they in the concession business? Okay, that's where the bulk of the profits are driving the business model. It's really something that we don't necessarily think about, but that's the business world. And the entertainment business has gone that way. And so the facility that we created, that we've already designed, and designed it to a point where it can be measured by experts. And that's part of our problem, because we created and produced a physical design of a facility that meets not only today's needs in the business, but the future needs of the business. We're creating a lot of concession infrastructure so that our business model's profits will be supported by concessions, and I'm going to give the music away. As a lost leader, we're going to have a free show every Monday night, a $50,000 act. You'll be able to come and see Al Green perform live for free. And I can do that because all I need you to do is show up. Because there's going to be about 3 million of you that show up throughout the year, and you're going to spend X amount of dollars on concessions, and you're going to do that because I've got the concession infrastructure in place. Now, my competition over in Grand Prairie will charge you $40 to go see Al Green. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to go over there and pay $40 to see live entertainment? Or are you going to come see the same act over here for free? We are giving away what's driving their profit model, which are ticket sales. They've got to have 1,500 or 1,000 tickets sell for Al Green to make profit off that show. Ticket sales don't drive my profits. I'm giving the tickets away. Concessions are driving my profits, and I've got the infrastructure in place to make that all work, and they don't. Which is why the experts have called our project a category killer. Now, that's a difficult term, because that doesn't mean we're going to hurt the ticket sales over in Grand Prairie. We're not going to diminish their profits. We're not going to be a problem for them. Okay? They're going to be dead. Death. Okay? Now, I don't want them to die. I don't. I want them to leave me alone. Let my project get built. Okay? So that's why we have, law firms incurring millions of dollars worth of expenses trying to kill this project. Because they know what's going to happen. Whenever the guy that made the rotary phone, if he could have got a hold of the guy that invented the push button phone and killed him, okay, then we'd be dialing, still spinning fingers on phones, okay? So that's what a category killer does. We force all these other competitors in the business to create a business model that matches the business model we have. That means investing millions and millions of dollars in concession infrastructure that they don't want to do because they like charging you $40 for that music. Well, we're going to give you that music and create a whole different new model. So we've had these challenges in courts. By the way, we're winning in court. We've got the Attorney General, disagreeing with us. Now, he doesn't always win. He doesn't get to make rulings. He doesn't really decide anything. It's really the judge that does that. And people aren't necessarily clear on that. So we've had to fight, and we'll continue that fight. And the city of Irving will live forever. And the citizens voted this project. We're already collecting the fees and taxes from the hoteliers who will use this venue a great deal. By the way, with those free tickets to support their rooms, we're going to make sure that, and I know Gail's here tonight. Gail, we've got free tickets coming your way for your association and your hotel. There she is right there. Okay, so, I mean, you know, and that's more than talk. We're going to make that happen because we've got a lot to get accomplished. But it's important that we create the entertainment destination that we blew up. We blew up our logjam. We do not want to go forward in the future without an entertainment destination, and this is the best opportunity we have to create a significant one. And by the way, it's not only because I say so. It's that expert that called our designed project measured a category killer, good and bad. I'd rather him said he didn't think it's going to work out. Okay, so I could have got it done. So, but anyway, there's more to come on that. It's about 2,000 jobs, permanent jobs, about 750 construction jobs. We've had this thing measured with hundreds of millions of dollars of economic impact. Now, after all of that, I want to let you know that we have a brief video, and then I'll make a couple of comments, but I want you to understand, Bob Power mentioned about the stadium that he experienced satisfaction, okay, when that stadium blew up because he did everything he said he was going to do. You know, they said they would deliver this project to the citizens with no cost to the taxpayers, and they did. And that's what we're going to do. He said it was going to function for 40 years and be successful, and it was. And that's what's going to happen here. And he said when it's done, we're going to own one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in North Texas, and we do. And that's exactly the same model that we're following in this case. 100% funded by the users. So I'm going to let you watch the video, and then I'm going to make a couple more comments and let you get out and see the rest of this building. So, Kristen?
As the Irving Convention Center nears completion, it's now easy to picture the potential with groups meeting here and bringing business to the city. What's more difficult to imagine is what can happen here, on this vacant land between the Convention Center and State Highway 114.
Really hoping that people can kind of begin to envision themselves either sitting in a restaurant or going to see a show.
To help people better imagine the possibilities, the Las Colinas group invited residents and business people to the Urban Towers to learn more about the Irving Entertainment Center.
I'm really excited.
We're excited to show it off finally.
The presentation begins with a video that highlights some of the features and the people involved in making it happen.
This is a spot that's not just fun for everybody and their brother and sister in the community, but also for celebrities and also people that just want to take a break.
The center would offer restaurants and live music venues in a complex developers say defies comparison. The biggest difference is at the Big Show, a state-of-the-art concert hall.
The design of this building now makes this a world-class building. There is not a building like this from a concert space anywhere in the United States.
An innovative floating ceiling will come down to essentially resize the facility. Seats move to maximize versatility and keep fans close to the action.
We can configure it for concerts in the round. We can put sporting events on in this facility, large enough for a basketball court, certainly there in the bottom level.
To better understand how it works, we got to look at a model of the Big Show.
We have an incredibly new modern design here that is just an incredible setup for the artists and the public. Everybody is wrapped close. We have a first of its kind, the cloud, which is our floating ceiling. And this ceiling allows us to bring it down, cut the capacity down from the present 5,000 seats to 3,500. Our furthest seat from the front of that stage to the back row is 185 feet. That is about 1/2 of like Verizon Wireless Theater. This is our upper balcony, our mezzanine seating here. We have 22 suites, the traditional suites of viewing a show. Back here we have one of a kind. We have 6 hotel room villas with boxes that sit over the stage for truly a backstage experience. We have our first level that we come in off the street that looks like that on the front. This is our riser seating and our floor seating here. We take that out and we actually have a general admission floor. So we can run from 5,000 reserve seats up to 7,100 with the general admission, and that's the arena. That's the Big Show.
The group says a partnership with Live Nation will help keep the Big Show booked almost every night. and that will bring traffic to the restaurants and other live music venues in the complex.
A lot of venues have filled themselves with a lot of concrete, a lot of hard space. We've tried to go the opposite route, make it feel very comfortable and inviting so a guest can stay for a long period of time.
The restaurants would offer a lot of options for visitors.
You're going to be able to find a wide variety of price points all the way from the low end to the high end, so that whether you're spending $10 or $200, you'll have value for your money from one end to the other.
The Las Colinas APT and the Dart Orange line will help make it easy for people to get here. Developers believe this center will attract millions of visitors every year.
What we're also anticipating as a part of the entertainment center is having 4 quarterly festivals where we integrate a lot of the other restaurant venues and music venues.
Back in 2007, voters approved using hotel occupancy tax money to fund part of this project. Private investors will pitch in about $50 million to what would be a city-owned facility. None of the construction or operating cost will come out of the city budget.
In fact, the law prohibits us from using property taxes out of our general fund to pay for any of this. We'll generate heads and beds and create more hotel-motel tax, and also we'll extract a 10% admittance tax and parking charges as well to all the people who go to the venue, and those monies provide enough to create the financing when you add a $50 million contribution from the operator to create what we're going to create here.
We think the city of Irving, the citizens of Irving have had the foresight to get this project done, and we think that they'll be very proud with the end result and proud for the long term when they see this in their own backyard.
The city of Irving is just a great progressive city to work with.
The entertainment center is not the only new draw planned to complement the convention center.
We hope to attract a hotel development that we'll be hearing about soon to complete that sort of entertainment center.
Construction could begin later this year with a planned opening in 2012.
I've never seen anything compares to it.
We've been told that this project will be the premier destination for entertainment in the Metroplex.
And it's very doable, and we're going to get it done, for sure. You know, it's funny because we've got about 15 lawyers, working on this process, and of course, I'm just old trailer trash, that grew up and barely made it out of school. So, when I get in a room full of lawyers, they have to deal with me, because I'm in this job, and so of course, they really love it whenever I tell them that, hey, I have my law and order degree, so I think I know what to do here. So try telling your attorney that and see how that works for you. But I tell them many times, that they're geniuses, and they are, and I'm real proud to be able to work with them, except, they don't communicate very well. So I keep telling them, look, I'm working with geniuses that don't know how to communicate. But it's fun. It's an amazing experience, by the way, but we have the finest attorneys and the finest talent in the land. And I just want to wrap it up. It's a significant development, the entertainment venue. It means a lot to our future, and we've made some commitments. And actually, we've talked a lot about some things tonight. In fact, Kristen, if you throw up, if it's not up there already, I just want to remind you, that what we say means a lot, because we can create the realities in our universe through what we speak. And that's a lesson, that we copy, from the Bible. And if you're going to be copying, some lessons, I think that's a pretty good set of teachings, to start with. And I know the pastors in the room will certainly understand that. But just want you to know that a lot of what we talked about here tonight, we're going to hear about in the future. And I'm very proud to serve in this role. And we have a great leadership team with the Irving City Council. All of what you saw here tonight is really a product of the leadership team, and that's the council. And Tommy, the city manager, and the police chief, and the fire chief, and they go on down from there. But we're blessed in this community to have a lot of resources, to have a great future, and to have had great people who have come before us, who have worked hard and really toiled and really bled for this city, through hard times and through tough issues. And so we're proud to be in the position that we're in now. We think we've got a lot of work to do, and we need to continue that. So we're gonna work to keep this job, as you'll hear about, coming up in the next few months. But we think it's a critical juncture right now, and leadership is important. And I always say, hey, I may not be the best leader or whatever. I may not be perfect, okay? But remember, it was an election, and perfect wasn't in the race. It was me and that other guy. So we're gonna find ourselves in that situation again, okay? So, but anyway, just want to remind you to speak into existence the universe that you want for your life, and remember the intrinsic value of all others, and that we operate first from a position of that we unconditionally love each other. That'll give us the space to solve all problems and find common ground and take care of all the problems that we have. So I'm going to say to you tonight, I'm closing out the show. I'm going to deliver a little more Beyonce video for you to send you home. So we'll just end this with God bless America and God bless Irving, Texas. And thank you all for coming.